What is the vibe today, Vanessa?
Well, the vibe today is actually from our discussion forum. I know, we used it. We told you
We
we
have
would.
fans.
We have fans. No biggie.
No biggie.
So it's about bullying.
I love.
Yeah.
It's a good topic.
It's kind of a hard topic too, though.
It is a hard topic. It's a very relevant topic too.
Very relevant.
So let's get into it.
All right. Welcome to the Vibe Check with Kaylee and Vanessa. Let's talk about mental health, no judgment, just good vibes.
Welcome back to the Vibe Check with Kaylee
and Vanessa.
Today we're talking about bullying, getting down to the nitty gritty. We're going to talk about like why people bully, how to navigate bullying, what to do if you are the bully.
Yeah.
Just lots of all things bullies.
And then we might go into some myth busting because we seem to love that
we
on
love
this podcast. But it's also very relevant too because I feel like it hits harder when you hear something that you think is true and then it's like you challenge it.
Yeah. Challenge those thoughts.
Challenge them.
Do you have any like awkward or funny childhood bullying stories?
I'm trying to remember.
Like, were you bullied or were you a bully?
I'm pretty sure I was bullied, but like not hardcore bullied. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like not like stereotypical like steal your lunch.
I never got stolen lunch. No. I was like called a lot of names.
Fair.
I feel like name calling was like the main thing that I experienced growing up.
Same.
And then like even like in high school too, I got like, and it was like just dumb people saying dumb things that didn't even make any sense at the time too.
Never does.
I'm trying to think because like my name, like Vanessa, it's so long, so it can be taken into like so many things. But this one person called me like white wall, like or and it was like I was as dumb as a brick wall was like the thing that he was trying to say.
Oh, but was saying it wrong. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, but it was also like because I give off that dumb girl vibe.
Oh.
Or is what they said at the time was that was like my high school because I was in high school I was that kid that was like trying to be nice to everybody and like had like little friends like in each kind of friend group but like was never like fully a part of like a full friend group because I was just so nice. So when people like thought about me or even if people like from my high school watched this they were like, oh yeah, she was the nice one. Like that was like the only thing that they would use to describe me, like, oh, she was nice. They didn't know more about me. So like those kinds of nicknames.
I had a similar experience, just like typical name calling. I also really resonate with you mentioning like not being really in a friend group. Like I was like,
really?
There was like, I won't dive deep into my childhood, but
no.
Let's not. There was like a friend group that I was like friends with like people in the friend group, but like I wasn't in the friend group. And it was made very clear that I wasn't in the friend group.
No.
So like I don't know if that would be considered bullying, but like that was
I think
something I experienced. But I also experienced a lot of name calling. I used to be called Klutzen because my last name is Clausen and I was clumsy. So I would get called. Oh my goodness,
that's another part. I forgot about my last name. So like I'm married now, so thankfully last name's gone, but my maiden name is Curry. And so people would come up to me all the time and be like, do you like curry? And like do like a really bad Indian accent because like they were like curry spice or chicken curry, and then like that's what they would do with that.
People need to like not name.
I know.
Also like get more creative.
Right.
Or just don't call people names. But
I'm really happy I don't have the last name Curry anymore. Just because even like people would come up and be like, "Are you related to Steph Curry?"
Oh my goodness.
It would just be like a whole big thing, and I was like, "That's not my whole like." That's the only reason you came up to talk to me right now?
Yeah. It's not who you are. Yeah. Okay, so should we define bullying? What does that even mean? Now that we're talking about it, like what does bullying mean?
Let me look at my notes because we probably have a nice definition in the notes.
We don't.
What?
Well, what I was anticipating us talking about is just like, what do we think bullying is? And is it just
so we have to use our brain particles?
Yeah, we got to use our brains.
All right.
Is it just like those like the schoolyard things where like someone pushes you down or like calls you name? Like, is that all bullying is?
It can be so much. Like there's so many kinds of bullying, and like bullying doesn't have to be like a really big showy kind of you suck in front of everybody, or like embarrassing you in front of the things, or like stealing your lunch or taking your school money, even though that could be bullying too, right? But bullying, I feel like nowadays has become so much more subtle, which is actually scary.
And it doesn't need to come from like a bully or an enemy. It can come from your friends.
Yeah.
Your friends can bully you, which sucks. Yeah. It also doesn't have to be in person. It can be online. And cyberbullying is huge. And it's also really scary because cyberbullying is one of the ways that like it's really hard for anyone to do anything about. Like in terms of like consequences and like.
And it's easier to be a bully.
It is, because you're hiding behind a screen.
Like you have no consequences. You can be anonymous and you can do whatever you want, say whatever you feel. And you might not even mean half the things you say, but you think they're funny, or you think that it will cause people to react to the thing that you're saying. And it's just so much easier for them to get away with it and not have to face anything else.
And I feel like it's almost easier to like resonate, or like not resonate, that's not what the word. It's almost easier to ruminate on things when it's online, because you can like see it and you can keep looking back at it and like, oh, that is everywhere for everyone to see. It's not just something that was said to my face.
And then people will, like if it's like a comment section of the post, right? Like if somebody says something mean and then somebody else adds on to that, it like fuels the fire and like there's more people than just one person thinking this.
Yeah.
Or it's like, yes, one person thought it, but now the whole world can think that way too if they read the post and resonate with it.
Exactly. So we'll also be getting into nitty gritty about different types of bullying, especially cyberbullying.
Yeah.
Later on in the episode, but
I think if we didn't actually define bullying.
No, we didn't.
Like I feel like if we're gonna define it, it's anything that is hurtful toward, like somebody being hurtful towards somebody else in any way that person feels personally attacked by it.
And I think bullying is defined by the person that's like being bullied, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like we said in a couple episodes back, it's the person who's receiving the mean that gets to define if they're being bullied or not.
Exactly.
Like if you're being mean to me and you're like, I'm not bullying you. No, you don't get to decide that.
Yes.
You hurt me. I feel bullied. Therefore, I was bullied.
Exactly. Yeah. Just because somebody says, oh, well, I didn't mean it in that way.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't mean that that's still not bullying to a certain extent.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like, I guess you could say, I don't know if there's like technically like part of the definition, if it's like bullying has to be continuous over a period of time. That's actually a good thing to try to research, because that's a good point. Like what if a friend were to just say one mean thing to you once and then apologize and didn't realize and then moved on from it? Would that be considered bullying?
The definition of bullying from the Anti-Bullying Alliance, which is just an organization in the UK, but that's just the first option. Anyways, is the repetitive intentional hurting of one person or group by another person or group, where the relationship involves an imbalance of power. Bullying can be physical, verbal, or psychological, and happen to face or online. So this one kind of like emphasizes the intentionality of bullying, which I don't know if it needs to be intentionally bullying, but I think it's intentionally saying something with harmful connotations.
Yeah.
So like even if you're like not trying, like you're calling someone a name because you think it's funny, but like you should reasonably know that that's not funny. That's still bullying.
Yes.
This also mentions a imbalance of power, which I think is important, because it typically, like when you think of like stereotypical bullying, like in a movie or whatever, it's normally like the mean, like the popular kids bullying like the less popular kids. And I don't think it necessarily has to be like that, but like there's definitely always like a power imbalance involved. And again, we'll get into this a little bit more later on,
because I feel like regardless, like I think movies only highlight that power dynamic, but there's always somebody more powerful than you. Always someone who's bigger or different than you, or whatever it is. There's always gonna be somebody who feels like they have more power over you.
Right. Should we get into why people bully?
Yeah, I think so.
So there's so many reasons, and I want to preface this topic of conversation by saying we're not like validating anyone in their bullying behavior. We're not saying that it's okay.
I think it's more just talking about the fact that there is a reason behind why people bully,
which can maybe help you to not take it so personally, like not
like reframe your thinking in a sense. It's like, this is not like, yes, it's personally impacting you, not taking that away, but it's not just you in the sense of like they're going through their own stuff potentially, but it doesn't still justify them being mean to you.
Yeah.
It just means that you can be like, this isn't my problem. This is your problem.
This is your problem. Like one of the reasons why people bully is just wanting to dominate others. So that's part of the power thing we were just talking about. So there's this idea that if you are mean to other people, you could improve your social status. Like, sounds like a really weird concept, but I think the mindset behind that is that like you're kind of creating your own sense of power by putting other people down.
Yes.
Which is not great, but that's kind of one of the reasons why people do it.
Yeah, and it could also be because they feel lesser or like less powerful.
That's like kind of our second point is like they could have a low self-esteem and this is their way of trying to increase their self-esteem.
Exactly, or just try to improve it in some kind of way, or they might feel less at home. Maybe they have like an older sibling or something like that who makes them feel small, and that's why they go out and try to make other people feel small.
Yeah.
Not that this is right.
Yeah.
But that's where it can come from, and only can come from because there's sometimes where people don't feel small at home.
Another reason is just honestly lack of remorse.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like there's many reasons why someone lacks remorse. Yeah. Like it could just be their upbringing, it could be their culture, it could be they're not in a good place, so their remorse level is.
There also could like they could never have been told that that's wrong.
Yeah, like upbringing, like they've never been taught what is right and what's wrong, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Again, failing to view their behavior as a problem. So if they were never really taught that. Well, I mean, like it sounds like common sense, but to some people it's not. Like if they were never taught that a certain behavior is bad or hurtful or just like never really had the insight to think about how they would feel.
Yeah.
They might just not know. Feeling angry or frustrated or jealous or like just like struggling socially.
Yeah.
So like I feel like I can relate a little bit, and I don't want this to sound like I'm a bully, but like in some situations when you're uncomfortable and like you're in a friend group kind of thing and you like kind of make fun of someone else
because you don't know what to say and you're trying to get everybody else. I feel like I probably had done that too, especially in high school, like just trying to fit in.
Yeah,
like that's
trying to figure out like how to banter, but like sometimes it doesn't come out right, like that kind of thing.
So I think that's important to know too, is that like there are some people, like if like say even me and you, like we were like potentially the bullies to somebody growing up, and like not that we meant to or not that we intentionally tried to, but in a sense we intentionally tried to get others to like us by potentially putting someone else down.
Yeah Kind of going along with like feeling angry and frustrated is like being the victim of bullying themselves. So like other people are hurting them, like whether it's verbally or physically, so then they kind of take it out on other people. And it does sound kind of backwards because it's like if you're being bullied, why would you want to hurt somebody else too? But it might just be their way of coping.
Yeah. And like the more you're in an environment where that's happening constantly, the more likely you are to do it yourself. Like I know a lot of people think, oh, if I was ever bullied, I would never bully somebody else because like that would be terrible. But that's sometimes not always the case, because you think that's how you would react to certain situations, but then other times you know what it's like and you know how to do it.
Right.
So it actually becomes easier to just do
or like mimic what's happening to you kind of thing. Right?
Yeah.
There's also different types of bullying.
Yes. Nowadays I feel like it's definitely way more cyber
social and media, like psychological kind of
thing. Like I don't hear, and maybe this is just me not hearing a lot, but you don't normally hear a lot of like physical bullying as much anymore.
I feel like a lot of it has to do with gender too. Like I feel like physical bullying, and I don't want to kind of like enhance this stereotype, but I feel like physical bullying happens a lot more often with like males or male presenting individuals, whereas like verbal and social bullying kind of happens more with females.
No, it is true. Like and probably scientifically proven too, in the sense of like boys can just be more rough sometimes, and that's how they express their feelings, because they're not taught how to express their feelings sometimes, because that's not typically something that they're raised to do in that sense, whereas girls know how to.
Right? And I feel like cyberbullying, I feel like is way more prevalent nowadays. And I don't know if it's like on the rise, but I feel like it's just like a product of us being chronically online now.
Yes.
And like younger and younger individuals are being are online, and we're sharing significantly more of our lives online.
Yeah.
Which just kind of opens up vulnerability for someone to attack you or someone to just have access to you 24/7. Right? Whereas back in the old days, like when you're not online and you're being bullied, it's typically only when you're at school or like with friends or whatever.
Yeah. It's also a lot easier to cut people out of your lives online.
True.
Which could be a form of bullying in the sense of like being blocked by somebody, being like
harassed.
Yeah, harassed, like anything like that. Like it's so much easier to cut somebody out or to like make them feel isolated because there's so much power with something that's like you can't see this, or like private stories. Right, where they only send the story to like a certain amount of friends.
So exclusion,
and then you're the one feeling like that's a form of bullying in a sense, right? You can feel super left out and isolated because someone chose to not include you on their private story, Snapchat or Instagram or whatnot. Right.
Yeah, like do you want to kind of go into like different ways that cyberbullying? I feel like that's what you kind of started doing, like just
I guess
ways that cyberbullying can happen. Like I feel like we could just start off and just be like, like cyberbullying happens through mean comments or specifically messaging you and harassing you through mean things. But I think it also has to do with like, okay, I don't know if this is a thing anymore, but like when I was in high school, like subtweeting was a thing.
Oh, I never had Twitter.
So like people, and I don't know if it was only Twitter, but like people would like, and I definitely did this too, but like would post a tweet that's very vague, but like was meant to specifically be about a person.
You know what I had growing up?
Uh-oh. What?
Sorry. I didn't even reflect on what you said.
That's fine.
I honestly don't even think I heard what you said because I was so focused on what I was preparing to say.
Rude.
They subtweeted? How does that work?
So, like, let's say we were planning to hang out.
Yeah.
And you bailed on me.
Okay.
And I would subtweet something like, sucks when friends bail on you. Or something like that. Like, it's a tweet that doesn't mention you specifically, but it's very obviously about someone.
Okay. Yeah. So I didn't have that, but like growing up, we had this was in like elementary school too, like grade 7, grade 8. And it was like, I don't even remember what it was called because it's gone.
Are you talking about Yik Yak?
No.
Okay, sorry, continue. I'll talk about that in a minute.
It was like a rating thing. Like people would go on there and it would be like, it was all anonymous and it would be top 10 prettiest girls in school.
That's awful.
It was terrible. And for a while, like everybody was on and everybody wanted to see what they were ranked by different boys or by the girls, like different friend groups. Yeah, it was terrible. It was like Rate Me or something like that was what the app was called. And it got banned from our school and everything because it was so bad because people were getting really hurt and like bullying in a sense, right? Like rating somebody.
Yeah.
But that can even happen in today's day too.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say this might be dating me, but like when I was in elementary school and high school, like there was physical forms of that, like a piece of paper that would get passed around, and it was like some of them were inappropriate in high school. Kiss list, or like the best XYZ list, like that kind of thing. And it was like a physical piece of paper, but like wild.
I know, and like I feel like that still happens in today. Obviously, we're not on a piece of paper anymore. Like they're doing it online somehow. But it's just that was one that really I forgot about that one until we started talking about like bullying. I'm like, that was definitely a form of bullying.
Yeah, well, you just remind me of this other one that we had. This was definitely high school for me, so like grade 9. It was called Yik Yak, and it was basically a location-based, like anonymous social media. Sorry, I looked it up just to make sure I get this like thing accurate.
Yeah.
But it's basically you can post social media messages, but only people within a 5-mile radius can see it. So people could post these anonymous things while you're at school, and only people at school will see it. But like, I don't know if the intention was to be posted this way, but like it was used to like talk about people
when they weren't there,
even if they were there, but like post things about people anonymously because everyone was anonymous on it. Like there was no like account attached to it. Like I think it's deleted now. Oh wait. It was relaunched in 2021. It's been criticized for enabling bullying, hate speech, and other negative behaviors due to its anonymous nature. Like, and that's the key way how like cyberbullying is so prevalent and so easy for people to use because it can be anonymous. It can, like, you're hiding behind a screen basically, even if it is your own account. Like, you have so much power when you literally just typing.
Yeah, and now too with like even how everybody's on like what's that new thing? Roblox is a big thing now.
Roblox.
Right? And you can chat on there and you can talk. And then there's
so
also
dangerous.
like, even Minecraft and Fortnite, like all those games with like the live chat functioning, like or like even just actual talking.
Yeah.
it's terrible in the sense of like you could be talking to anyone and they can say whatever they want and they can have a username that has no identification of like to who they actually are, and they can say whatever they want.
Yeah. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but like I just feel like it's really prevalent. Like with cyberbullying, that gives your bully and anybody like 24/7 access to you.
Yeah. You can never turn it off unless you delete it.
Unless you delete it or whatever. But it's just like that door is always open to be attacked, I guess.
Yeah.
Or like targeted.
It's
just scary.
It is very scary.
Just transitioning to dealing with bullies.
Yeah. So yeah, because we kind of talked about like why bullies may bully, forms and ways that bullying can happen. But yeah, like what to do if you are the one being bullied. Yeah. I feel like
the number one thing is telling a trusted adult.
Yeah.
And this seems like, I know if you're a teen out there or a youth or any age, you're gonna think, I don't want to tell, like, I don't want to tattle, blah blah blah. But like, honestly, that's the number one way to deal with it, because
or else nothing will get done.
Nothing will get done.
Like, they're not gonna stop. That's the thing that we always think. We're like, oh, they'll stop, or oh, it was a one-time thing, or oh, they didn't mean it like that. But the more you kind of validate what they're doing and let it happen, it's never gonna stop. You're gonna create that storyline that it's okay to talk to you like that.
Yeah, and I guarantee, like, if you wait to tell a trusted adult or you'd wait to tell anybody, by the time you do tell them, they're gonna be like, why didn't you wait? Why didn't you tell me?
Yeah. I even had a situation where I didn't tell somebody about how they were treating everybody around us. It was like, I think we were in like a group project and we all were like all on the same page. And then what happened was that person actually then went and switched all of her words to say they were my words.
Oof.
And because I didn't say something sooner, it made it seem like I was the one who was the bully. But I was like, I literally did not say any of those things.
That's
and
terrible.
It was a very hard thing to even like try to prove. Right. So that's what I always say. It's like, if you're the first one to tell, you have the trust of the adult.
And the power to...
You have the power too.
You have the power of your own story. Exactly. And not having it be manipulated by other people.
Because that's what's going to happen. And that's what happened to me even. Like, that storyline was changed and words were put in my mouth that I was like, that's not fair.
Yeah.
And I couldn't change the story after that. Yeah. I had to like apologize and move forward and just move on. But it ruined a friendship and things like that, when it was like, if you would have just confronted the problem first, things might have been different. Right. But yeah, tell somebody, don't hold it in. And also, if you're the only one holding on to that, that's hard. If you don't, even if you haven't told your friends or your family, like, that's a lot to hold on to and a lot for you to carry. And it's going to come out in different ways, whether it's, you know, decreased social interaction. It could be that you're feeling not like yourself anymore. You could have outbursts of your own.
Yeah.
There's so many things that you hold on to that.
Okay, my favorite way of dealing with bullies is literally just ignore them and walk away.
Yes.
And this goes into my explanation of power dynamics earlier. Just like, if you don't give them the reaction they're looking for, you don't give them anything, so true. They don't get from it what they want.
Everybody, like, that's what exactly they want, a reaction, whether it's even like from, but this could also be not just for like the person who's getting bullied, but for like the people who are witnessing it and like bystanders. Like, in the sense of like, if you hear something that you know is not actually funny, don't laugh.
Yeah.
And then that person who made the comment actually feels more awkward than the person who the comment was meant for.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you are the one, just literally ignore it, walk away. Like, don't give them the power.
Yes.
Don't give them the satisfaction of bullying you.
No. Like, yes,
and like, I'm not blaming I'm not blaming anybody for being bullied, or like, I'm not saying it's your responsibility to like
to walk away. Yeah, like
whatever, but like,
this is just one way
you can do it is just ignore it and walk away. Like, yeah, don't give them the pleasure of bullying you, basically.
No, it's fair.
Again, kind of like this, walk tall, hold your head high. So like, you need to also be confident in yourself.
Yeah.
And I know it's difficult, especially if you are being bullied, but like, if you believe in yourself and you are like, what am I trying to say?
You're the only one that can let that impact you. And like, you're your own worst enemy sometimes. So if you don't let what they say impact you, then they hold no power over you.
Yes,
you're
100%.
The one who holds the power. And I think that's what bullying, you forget sometimes when someone's bullying you. You think that they have it, but your mind's actually allowing them to have it when you're choosing to believe what they're saying. You're choosing to allow that to impact you. Like, that's where you have to be like, no, where's the line?
Right.
What do I truly believe? And how can I draw the line and put the boundary up where I'm like, no, that's not true, and that's somebody else's. I'm not going to let that hold the power over me.
And going along with that is just practicing confidence.
Yes.
Like, again, we're not saying that it's your responsibility to, like, fix what a bully is breaking, but, like, if you work on your own confidence, work on your self-esteem, and, like, become confident in yourself and believe in yourself, the bully has so much less power over you.
Right? Because if they were to make a comment, and most people would, crumble and feel very hurt by that, which I definitely still probably would to this day. Like, even though we're saying this, I know it's 10 times harder than
of course,
just saying it. But if you were to make a comment to me that I didn't like, I can take back the power by being confident, being like, and either owning it or being like, no, that's actually not true.
Right.
And then they're just like, oh, and because they're not expecting you.
Yeah. They're expecting for you to be upset, and if you're not giving them what they want, then they have no power.
Exactly.
This kind of goes against both of those few things that we've been saying, but, like, try to talk to the bully, like, point out their behavior. It could be really hard. It could backfire a little bit, but, like,
it's true.
Going back to them not really even knowing that their behavior
that's true because
is bad.
It could be. I think it also depends on who it is. If it's somebody who's like your friend, or someone who maybe once was your friend, or maybe like someone who's a friend but not really like acquaintance kind of thing, where you're like, you have no reason to be mean to me right now, is actually like asking them, did you mean to say that in a mean way?
Yeah.
Because it also puts them on the spot, and like they actually have to question and think back to what they said.
Yeah, it calls them out.
It does call them out. But if it's a situation where this is like a continuous thing, this person is actually like a threat to you, and like it's could be a safety thing, talking and like confronting them might not be the best thing.
Yeah. Just kind of pick your battle there.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. The other important thing, I think, is to stand up for your own friends if you see that they're being bullied.
And make it normal. Like, make it normal to stand up to bullies. Don't stand around and listen to them and laugh at them. Like, just get comfortable calling out bad, like, mean behavior.
Yeah. And, like, I know, like, this is, like, a very popular saying, but, like, what is it? Kindness.
I don't know.
Shoot, kindness kills? No.
Kill them with kindness?
Kill them with kindness.
Okay, Selena Gomez.
Yes, Selena Gomez. That's what I was trying to think. Kill them with kindness. Because if you're the person, if you're not and that's what they don't expect you to be nice back to them. But if you're, like, true to yourself and you're like, you know what? No, like don't bully the bully is what I'm trying to say. That's not going to fix the problem.
Yeah. Don't fight fire with fire.
No.
Only makes a bigger fire.
Ooh, that's deep.
Not really, but yeah.
Don't add fuel to a fire.
I like that.
That's the saying.
That is the saying. Just like acknowledging the awkwardness of reporting bullying.
Yeah.
That's true. It can feel weird. It's also really hard to admit that you're being bullied.
Yeah.
Like, I found, even when you and I were just talking about, like, being bullied, like, true. Being bullied in high school, like,
am I? What
it's
happened?
like hard to be like, oh yeah, I was bullied. Like, it's hard to label it as bullying because, like, there's so many different ways to be bullied. Like,
yeah, because even when I first started talking about it, I was like, I wouldn't know if I would classify this as bullying.
Right.
But then I'm like, no, it definitely is bullying.
Yeah. Oh, it can be awkward because we have this kind of sense of, like, this idea that we shouldn't be tattling on people. And, like, I even say this to my my kids that come to program, like, they'll come to tattle, like, and they're not being bullied. I need to to preface this. It's not a bullying situation that's going on in the youth center.
It's more like
hey, so and so's not sharing, and it's kind of like I do tell them, are we tattling? Or are we letting me know? Like, can we try to problem solve this together? But it can feel like tattling when you're kind of talking about bullying.
Yeah, because you're raised in the sense of, like, that sense of, okay, are you doing this because you want that person to get in trouble? Or are you doing this because you're scared of that person?
And I don't think you need to feel like bad that you're getting someone else in trouble. Like, you want it to stop. And, like, the only way to make it stop is kind of to deal with it. And dealing with it sometimes means telling someone. Whether it's your friend or a parent. Yeah. Or a teacher, guidance counselor, like, all those things.
And just to remember that it will be awkward. And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to feel the awkwardness. Mm-hmm. Let it be.
Let it be.
Let it be.
So, Vanessa, what if you're the bully? I think this is an important topic to touch on.
I feel like you have to continuously check in with yourself. Like if you're the bully, and you need to check in with yourself, because or else you're never going to think of what you're saying.
And I think it's really good to acknowledge that like you might not realize that you're being a bully.
That's why I'm saying like to check in with yourself and like to talk to somebody about it if you can.
Talk to a trusted adult if you think you're becoming a bully, or like I think sometimes this can happen like if you're kind of going through a rough time.
Yes.
With school, with friends, with family, with grades, family, anything.
Life,
we can kind of take it out on others and maybe not realize it.
Yeah. And to own up to the fact of being like, I think I said something that I didn't mean to say, but I did mean to say it, and I don't know what to do about it.
And like with a trusted adult, like they can help you with like advice on how you can change, or like support you in changing. And I think it can feel really hard to admit that you're being a bully or admit that you're being mean to other people, but I think it just shows immense strength to be able to be like, look, I'm not my best self and I think I need to work on it, and seeking out those ways to help yourself, I think is
because obviously no one wants to be a bully. No one wants to admit and say that they are the mean ones. Everybody wants to be the nice person, the nice one that they remember, not the mean one. Yeah.
I think my issue is I keep thinking about, oh my god, I need to stop yawning, and then I yawn.
This happened the other time. I don't know if you guys noticed.
So I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I'm not bored of Vanessa. I love Vanessa. I think she's so interesting to listen to.
Of course I am.
Just my brain needs more oxygen. That's why you yawn. Did you know that?
Is it actually?
Yeah, your brain needs more oxygen.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Anyways, I think another thing, if you are the bully, before you say anything, think about how you would feel if that was said to you.
But also, like, what am I trying to say? Because, like, I could say to you, oh, Vanessa, like, you're chaotic today. And, like, to me, I'd be like, oh,
I see what you're saying.
True. So, like, I feel like you have to take it with, like, take what you're about to say to someone, think about how you would feel, but also take it with
their perspective.
Yeah. Take it with a grain of salt.
I learned what that means.
Yeah, you learned what that means the other day. But just, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I sound like I'm not making sense.
No,
but just
I think it's just like you can maybe take something not as hard as somebody else might take something, but it's also just recognizing that not everybody sees things the way you do.
Right.
Life's not black and white.
100%. Next point, we're kind of jumping back to cyberbullying. So online bullying and drama, when to engage versus when to block and move on.
I actually feel like drama is a good thing to talk about, in the sense of like sometimes bullying, people don't call it that. They just call it, oh, there's a drama going on with my friends right now.
Yes.
And I think that's important to know, that sometimes drama is bullying.
Yeah.
And I don't think people ever relate those two.
Yeah. Like it could be conflict between you and your friends, and just like the things you say to each other during conflict can classify as bullying.
Especially if they're your friend, because they know a lot about you, and they know how to hit you harder than you might even know. Actually, you're probably your own worst bully sometimes. But
your friends are right up there.
Yeah, because they know everything. They know
your vulnerabilities.
You have said that you don't like about yourself. All of your insecurities, everything.
Yeah. So let's talk about how to keep ourselves safe online. Just a very brief conversation about this. Like we're only going to kind of talk about like the cyberbullying aspect of things. But
if you're feeling bullied and victimized online,
block the bully.
Yes.
Blocking is the
best
thing you can do.
Yeah.
Because it just gets rid of their access to you. It's also really important to keep a record of any of these bullying things. And I do also want to mention that, like, just warn you, it is really difficult to get any, like, action. Like, let's say it's so bad that you need legal action.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
If you don't have proof.
But even if you do have proof.
Yeah, that's true.
Just because an account that says Vanessa Pearson is bullying me doesn't mean it's Vanessa Pearson bullying me.
Because anybody can take anybody's.
But it is really good in terms of, like, just, like, recording it and showing that it's happening.
Yeah. I also want to add on to that in the sense, because I know, like, I think everybody, they have receipts, right? So
Sorry, I love that.
No, it's true, right? Like the drama, especially with the drama, and they'll take screenshots and they'll show their friends. And like sometimes you have to be careful. What are you doing? Why are you recording it? Is it for that you want to show that you're right and everybody's wrong and whatnot? Or is it because you want to do something about it and take it to an adult?
Yes, and I think things can also be manipulated. So making sure you have your own record of what's going on can be really helpful. For example, you say mean things to me and maybe I say mean things back to you. You could delete all your messages and it only shows that I've been mean to you. So just making sure you also have your own personal record of the stuff that's going on.
And then also learning how, like, sometimes it's not good to also just hold on to the receipts for a long time. The screenshots, like all of that, like, because that's actually holding you back from growth. Like, that's always a scary thing when people say, oh, like, I've had these screenshots just in case something happens. And like, yes, that's good, but you also be mindful of if you know exactly where they are in your phone and you're like, oh, I have this and I'll pull it up really quickly for you. Like, maybe you're too attached to that and it's actually not healthy to have. So there's a line that you need to be drawn with that, because especially with drama and friendships, that can backfire.
Yeah, and I think that goes into the next point, is just like talk, like if you're taking these receipts or you're like keeping record of these, talk to a trusted adult. Like, that's the purpose of keeping these records, and like showing them that something's going on, so something can be done about it.
Exactly. And then you have to be careful.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I was just gonna say you have to be careful of like who you let
have access to.
Yes. So like being private.
Have a private account
on your account is so great, because then you can see, do I know this person?
Yep.
Yes or no? No. Do not let them follow you.
Yep. And just be careful what you share online.
Yes.
Because your digital footprint, like, even if, let's say I post something on my story or on Instagram or whatever, even if I delete it, it still exists.
Exactly.
It exists out there. And like, this isn't just a cyberbullying conversation. You also have to think about employment and your future, I guess.
That's
like,
true.
Everything you post online is just, it's there. It's permanent.
Yeah, it's true. Like, nowadays, like, even like trying to get a job somewhere, like, they might check out your social media platforms.
Yep.
And be like,
what is this person?
Why did they say this?
Yeah, why did they post this? Why did they?
Yeah. No, I know. So I feel like that's like the main like talking spiel we have kind of for this. And we kind of, like we said at the beginning, we had like a little bit of a Mythbusters thing. So we're going to see how many, we'll like go through them, see what we like, see what we don't like.
Yeah. But like, do you want to guide this? Because I don't really.
Yeah. Just because
I just feel like this is organized weirdly. So
it was chaos. It was my chaotic brain quickly adding something in before we started this podcast.
Love. I'm just here for it. You guide me.
Pretty much it started because I was looking at ChatGPT.
Love. ChatGPT.
And it was saying how, like, what's the difference between like a funny joke between friends to where the roast becomes not a funny joke anymore. It becomes too far. Right, exactly. So it's like friendly banter. So roast gone wrong is like, dude, no wonder nobody wants to be in your group. You're useless.
Rude.
Yes, that's definitely not. It's a joke gone wrong if it's like from a friend group, so it's not funny anymore. Where it's like, if it's two friends are joking, it's like, oh, your math skills are so bad, even a calculator gave up on you. Could be taken poorly.
Yep.
But because it might be two friends, they're like, oh, it's a joke. They're together on this. Or your jokes are so dry they need lotion.
Me.
But like, between us two,
we're both laughing.
That's fine. But like, when it gets the roast gone wrong, is important to remember. And like we were talking about that's where a lot of people who aren't trying to bully because they don't realize that their roast is not a roast anymore.
When it's no longer playful,
no longer funny,
it becomes personal and hurtful, and you just gotta be mindful of that like line.
Yeah. And like, they came up with like a 3-point rule for roasting somebody, in the sense of like where to draw the line. So it's like, is everyone laughing, including the person being roasted? Would you actually
genuine laughing?
Yeah, genuinely laughing, not just there's a difference. Would you say it to a teacher or parent,
or if they were watching?
If they were watching, yeah. Like, would you say, and like knowing that they would see things in a different light. And then the third one is, would you be okay if someone said the same thing to you?
Right.
So that's like a 3, and I actually think that's pretty helpful.
Yeah. And if the answer is no to all of those,
abort mission.
Yeah, don't even bother saying it. But it's nice to have these like reflecting things before you just speak without a filter. But I know it's sometimes hard.
It's hard. Yeah.
But like, kind of keeping this in your little pocket of just like, this is what I need to do before I tell a joke.
Yeah.
Okay, exactly. Let's whoa. Let's bust some myths about bullying. There we go.
Okay, so some of the ones I think that I'm just trying to do the ones that like stand out more. Yeah. So bullying only happens in school.
False.
I love how you raised your hand like you're in school. Oh wait, you weren't doing that?
Doing like a sassy.
Okay. No, because like we said, social media can happen, and that's where a lot of bullying takes place now. Yep. It could even happen at like
I was gonna say soccer. I don't know why soccer came up, but like sports.
Yeah, sports. At home even, like if your friends came over, things like that. Like bullying can happen anywhere, not just limited to school.
Just stand up for yourself, it'll stop. Which I feel bad because we kind of said this, but I guess we didn't say it'll stop if you stand up for yourself.
No, but it will change the narrative.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
So like confidence can help. But
it's just not saying
it doesn't work
fix
every time.
The entire problem. Just like, oh, like just get over it, just stand up, just whatever. Like that doesn't fix the problem. It's just something you could potentially do, but it's not going to potentially stop. And that person might still keep doing it, but how you respond to it can potentially limit the amount of times they might feel like the need to.
Right.
Is kind of the hope, but it doesn't mean it's going to stop it in general. Where else? Bullying makes you stronger.
Like some people can grow and become more resilient because of things like this that happen. I don't think that's the only way that makes you stronger.
No, because we even talked about how sometimes people who are bullied become the bullies.
And it can like cause long-term emotional harm. So like if you were told something as a kid, it might continue to bother you into your adulthood because you were bullied. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, like there is some strength that maybe can come from like being resilient.
Yeah, but no one should have to be bullied in order to build character.
And that shouldn't
or like
be where your
become
strength
strong.
From. Yeah, exactly.
You skipped one.
Oh, I know. I'm not going in order. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to call you out.
What is?
If you're being bullied, you must have done something to deserve it.
Oh my goodness. No.
False.
Very false. Because most of the time, like we even talked about at the beginning, odds are it's something that they're experiencing that's causing them to act out at you. Yeah. So it's not your fault.
And no one deserves to be bullied ever, no matter what.
No, everybody deserves kindness.
Yeah. And even if like you're an
Moving on.
Every time I hear like say the word moving on or like think the words moving on, I hear you say it now. Moving on.
Love that. I'm in your head.
Bystanders can't do anything to help.
That's so not true. Bystanders are the whole fuel to
the fire. They perpetuate it.
Yeah, like that's what the bully is trying to get the reaction from the bystander. That's the only, and from you, obviously, whoever they're bullying. But that's what makes them continue doing it because they see how other people will laugh with them and respect them, and that's not what we want.
Yeah, and if a bystander stands up for the victim and like there's more people standing up for the victim than the bully loses all their power in that situation.
So, and sometimes it feels like, yes, you could be the only one. It's like, what kind of change does one person make? But one person can start a chain reaction, and that's the whole point. Or one person on the side of somebody who feels like they have nobody on their side is actually super important, because I feel like a lot of people are the bystander, and so it's like what would you want to do in that situation? So just to remember that
kids who get bullied just need to toughen up.
No,
like you're not too sensitive.
No, like that was like another podcast topic we did, right? Like don't take it personally was the thing we were talking about. It's like we are allowed to feel what we need to feel, and just because
like you being bullied has nothing to do with you. Like it doesn't mean you're any less of a person. It's all about someone else deliberately trying to harm you, and it has everything to do with them and nothing to do with you.
And it has no like it has nothing to do with how strong you are or how tough you are. Like that is so not relevant.
Yeah, you should never have to like take someone's harmful behavior just because you think you need to be tough.
No. Debunked. Moving on. Okay, let's see. If someone apologizes, the bullying is over.
Just because they apologize doesn't mean they're going to stop doing it.
I always have liked thinking of it like this. If somebody apologizes, that's one part of an apology. It's not the full. It's the actions that they take after the apology is a full apology. So you have the words that you say, but it has to be followed up with an action. Yeah. So that's a complete apology. If they just say sorry and they keep doing the same thing, that's not,
it's empty.
It's empty. But if there's action to go with that apology, then yeah, maybe it can stop after that. But it depends on how they apologize and the meaning from where, like if it's a teacher being like, tell them sorry, that's not going to stop it. But it's going to, but if they say from their own terms and they're like, I am actually really sorry, and this is what I'm going to do to make it up to you.
Action
that's
needs
the
to follow.
Next step. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I think that's all the myths that we were going to bust today, but there's so many more.
There's a lot. Yeah. So like you could even just Google some yourself, just to even see what's out there.
Yeah, get familiar with the myths that are out there.
And tell other people this, right? Like we don't want to be the only ones sharing about this. We want people who watch this to be able to share this information with others.
I have a question for you.
What's your question?
If you could talk to your younger self when you were being bullied, what is some advice you would give to yourself?
I would tell myself to believe in myself and have a little bit more confidence in myself, because I did not. I was that shy kid who was just trying to be nice to everybody, and I did not. What are you laughing about?
I was yawning. Sorry.
Anyways,
start over.
I was that shy kid, and I wish someone would have told me that it's okay to stand up for yourself. And standing up for yourself, yes, it's hard, but like I wish that like I would have been even like helped to like taught how to stand up for myself or how to believe in myself a little bit more, and also like love myself a little more.
Yeah.
Because like I was so hard. I still am hard on myself, but I was very hard on myself.
Yeah, and I feel like it's so hard, especially when you're a teen, to like things are changing. It's hard to like give yourself grace with those changes.
Yes.
So
grace is hard.
I think that just having confidence in yourself, trusting yourself.
Yeah. Just be kind to yourself. Yeah. And support yourself, right? Like you have to be your advocate for yourself. Like you have to be the one who makes the change.
Speak up.
Speak up.
And that goes with my next advice. Like the best revenge you can do for a bully is to live your best life.
Yeah. Like, show them that you don't,
doesn't
what
matter.
you have said doesn't impact.
Yeah. And I can still live my best life.
Yeah.
Even though you are hurting me.
Is that what you would tell your younger self?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like don't worry about it. Like that sounds so flippant, but like there's so much more to life and so much more to like your own existence than what people are saying about you or to you.
That's true. And the people who will stand by you and be there for you, they will be the ones who last forever, those friendships. So it's like friendships in high school will come and go, bullies will come and go.
Yeah.
But the ones like know your true friends and stick by those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's the vibe today.
That's the vibe. Just lots of bullying topics. And if there's any other topics that you're wanting, because this one was one that was requested, which we are happy to do. No, it's just it's great because we didn't even have that idea, I don't think. Because
it wasn't on our topic list.
Yeah,
but
so
please give us please give us suggestions in that form. It's located in the description of all of the platforms where you might be listening or watching this. We want to hear from you guys. It's really exciting and fun.
Or if you want to tell someone about it, like like share an experience that
you're like a response.
Like if you're like this is their first step in telling an adult is like putting into the discussion forum, that's fine. But then do the next step.
Tell the actual adult.
But this might be like a nice first little step, or to share your story.
Dipping your toes in the water of dealing with things.
Yeah. And we're a safe space, right?
We are. We're so safe.
We're a very safe space.
I swear, we're nice.
Yeah. You can always come down to Wellesley too. Yeah. If you're in the area.
Come find us at the youth center.
Yeah, I'm here on Thursdays.
I'm here always.
Always.
For the most part. All right. Okay, we'll see you next time.
Bye.